morning, beloveds. Okay. Happy Independence Day. It is the 4th of July. Since I'm not doing a 365, I don't always mention the day or the date. But yeah, it's the 4th of July. So, which, we should mention that. All right. So we finished chapter 19. We finished part 3. So we are now moving into part 4. We're more than halfway through this book. We're right about halfway through the book. So we're in part 4. Part 4 is called The Perfect Whole, and what he says about it is the indivisible whole within which all of its parts, the indivisible whole within which are all of its parts. Okay. All right. So we are going to start with chapter 20. I was kind of flipping through it, and it really looks like we might be in this chapter for a minute. So I went ahead and said part 1, because I'm not sure how long we're going to be in this chapter. But what the mystics have taught. And we are going to start with the section, what is a mystic? And we are on page 327, if you're following along in this book. So, what is a mystic? A mystic is not a mysterious person, but is one who has had a deep inner sense of life and of their unity with the whole. Mysticism and psychism are entirely different. One is real while the other may or may not be an illusion. There is nothing mysterious in the truth, so far as it is understood, but all things seem mysterious until we understand them. Isaac Asimov, I think it was Asimov, said that science, when sufficiently advanced, looks like magic until we understand it, or something to that effect. Okay. A mystic is one who intuitively perceives truth and, without mental process, arrives at spiritual realization. It is from the teachings of the great mystics that the best in the philosophy of the world have come. Who was there who could have taught such people as these? By what process of mentality did they arrive at their profound conclusions? We are compelled to recognize that spirit alone was their teacher. They were indeed taught by God. Our great religions have been given by a few who climbed the heights of spiritual vision and caught a fleeting glimpse of the ultimate reality. No living soul could have taught them what they knew. The great poets have been true mystics who, through their poems, have revealed the presence of God. People like Robert Browning, Tennyson, Wordsworth, Homer, Walt Whitman, Edward Rowland, Stills, and others of like nature have given us poetry which is immortal because they have had a spiritual sense of life. Now, he just listed a bunch of men. I'm gonna lean in here and remind you: Ella Wheeler Wilcox, Sappho, Emily Dickinson, Mary Oliver. So let me throw some women in there for you. All right. Great spiritual philosophers are mystics. The old prophets were mystics. David, Solomon, Jesus, Plotinus, and a score of others all had the same experiences, the sense of a living presence. The greatest music ever composed was written by the hand of a mystic, and the highest and best in art has come from people of spiritual perception. Like Teresa of Avalon, Hildegard of Bingham. There's a bunch. People have compelled nature to do their bidding. They have harnessed electricity, caught the wind, trapped steam, and made them do their will. They have invented machines to do the work of thousands. They have belted the globe with their traffic and built up a wonderful civilization. But in a few cases, they have conquered their own soul. The mystic has revealed things that do not pass as ships in the night. They have revealed eternal verities and plainly taught us that there is a living presence indwelling all. This constitutes the greatest intellect and spiritual heritage of the ages. The balance of our knowledge of God must come from a direct impartation from God. We must learn it for ourselves. The mystic does not read human thought, but rather they sense the atmosphere of God. The mystics of every age have seen, sensed, and taught the same truth. Psychic experience, on the other hand, bear the exact opposite testimony, as they more or less contradict each other. For each psychic sees a different kind of mental picture, but the mystic experience of the ages have revealed one and the same truth. A psychic sees largely through their own or another's subjective mentality. Consequently, their impressions are more or less colored by the vibration of their own or another's thought. They are subject to the hallucinations and false impressions of every description. That is why, generally speaking, no two psychics see the same thing. Mystics have all sensed one identical reality, and their testimony is in no way confusing, because the spirit within them has borne witness to the same truth. The mystics have been perfectly normal people. They did not think of themselves as mystics. That was their language. It was natural to them. Perfectly normal. They have been people like Jacob Boehme, Boehme, if you want to look him up. A cobbler pegging away at his shoes, who looking up, saw in the geranium plant the reflection of the cosmos, the very soul of God. Like Jesus looking into the heart of nature, like Moses reading God's law from a burning bush. The teaching of the mystics has been that there should be conscious courting of the divine presence. There should be a conscious perceptivity to it, but a balanced one. As one of the apostles said, in substance, that he would rather speak 10 words with his understanding than 10,000 with confusion. God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. Unlike the great psychics of the ages, who have been more or less confused, the great mystics have been intensely and preeminently sound people. I'm not sure I agree with him about mystics. I think that I'll go back to reading it in a minute, but I mean, I've read Teresa of Avalon. I've read John. I can't think of which. He was contemporary with Teresa of Avalon. I've read Hildegard of Bingen. I've read some of these mystics, and I think that there's a touch of madness, because when you open yourself up to the divine in such a way, I guess when I say madness, you step out of the normal human experience into a more divine experience, and while it's perfectly natural, it isn't the norm. And so the people around you kind of look at you like you've lost your mind. But as a wonderful shaman that I knew said, sometimes you have to lose your mind to come to your senses. And I think that's part of the mystic experience, is that touch of madness. Is that touch of madness where you look at the world and you go, you know what? There's more. There's more. They see, they get a look behind the scenes. So I do disagree with Ernest just a little bit, but I'm going to keep going here. All right. Because he said, preeminently sane and sound people. They may be sane, they may be sound, but I think there's a touch of madness that is part of the glory of the mystic experience. So, all right. The philosophy of Jesus will remain sound when the belief in the material universe shall have been rolled up like a scroll and numbered with the things once thought to be real. So will be the philosophy of Buddha, Plato, Socrates, Emerson, and Walt Whitman, and the philosophy we are writing about today. But the more or less unconscious disclosure of most psychics are not entirely true, even in the day in which they are given. While psychism is the most interesting field of study, we should understand it for what it's worth. It is through the teachings of the illumined that the spiritual universe reveals itself, imparting to us what we know about God, what we directly experience ourselves, and what we believe others have experienced is all we can know about God. Jesus taught a power transcendent, triumphant, absolute, positive, against which lesser laws meant nothing. By its very presence, it heals. The mystics did not contend or argue with people. There was nothing to argue about. They saw and knew, and they are the great revealers to people of the nature of the universe and the relationship of people to God. Well, that was a lot. You know what? We're going to stop there. We're going to stop there. The next section is unity. The next section after that is individuality. And then there is the ultimate salvation for all. So I think that that's a good place to stop. That was a lot. We're talking about mystics. We're talking about psychism. Ernest grew up in New England. He grew up with the, what is that movement called? The spiritualist tradition, where they did the table knocking and all of that. So, he's not against psychics. He just wants to differentiate between what psychics do and what mystics do. And it's very important that you do differentiate between what psychics do and mystics do. Because mystics are revealing the universe and spirit, whereas psychics are definitely dealing on a much more local level. So, when they published this version, they took out a bunch of where he talks about psychic stuff like that, in a much more positive note than he does here. And so they republished the book. So you may have a different version where they put all that stuff back in. So, but that's not the version I chose to read. I chose to read, the one that you can tell by the cracks in the spine how much I've loved this book. So, and used it. So that's there we are. All right. Let me grab a drink of water. It's going to be a hot one today. We are under heat advisory, so make sure you drink plenty of water. All right. So we are going to pick up on 3:30, and we are going to start with unity tomorrow. And we'll go from there. We'll probably be in this, it looks like at least 3 days, maybe 4. I'm just after where I've cracked the spine, so flipping through it's been is a bit of a challenge. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of basic housekeeping, and that is to remind you that an easy way to support this center, Creative Life Spiritual Center, is to engage with our social media. So we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the Running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. And if you would go and like and subscribe and follow and share and comment, one of the other content creators said if you comment at least 5 words, apparently that bumps the algorithms. So please feel free to, it's like I said, easy way to support the center, because it bumps us in the algorithms and then more people see us. And that's what we're after, because we think that we have enlightening stuff to share. We want to help make the world a better place, and this is the way we're doing it. So please feel free to do that. And then if you want more information about the center, please email. Oh, okay. There's two ways. One, creativelife.org is the website. And two, there's a constant contact email. Email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on the constant contact. And you get one email a week. It's a real person doing it. So it's not AI or anything. And he doesn't have time for more than that. But the hot links are hot. So if it says, click here now, it'll take you right to the information you want or the person that can help you get it. Okay. Now I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a fireworks day, my favorite thing is the angry incense day. That's sparklers, by the way. And respect your neighbors day, a take the precautions day, a drink plenty of water day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a call a friend day, a take care of business day, a take a nap day, a eat a hot dog day. Apparently hot dogs are the thing on 4th of July. I'm not sure why. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough. Just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, spirit in motion, God in action, a divine spark, or as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godling. All right. Explore the truth of your being. That is part of what I am doing by reading this book as I'm exploring the truth of my being. So, please do that. Because I can make you one promise. The only promise I can make you. The person that the divine knows you to be is good. From there, all things are possible. All things are possible. All right, beloveds. I'm pretty sure David will be on around 5 p.m. He could be earlier. He could be later. Who knows with the fireworks tonight? I'm kind of hoping that my neighbors are all out of town so that my neighborhood's quiet, but no guarantees. But Reverend David will probably be on sometime today around 5. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow because I do work tomorrow. So I'll be back on schedule tomorrow. I don't know what I was about to say. So take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.